brother, huh? There you go. There's your brother. Hi, baby girl. Oh, you're the sweetest. Okay. God damn it. Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. For future reference, if it ever like glitches out and then completely ends, I'm always going to do like a part 2. And I'm going to like end it depending on where it glitched out. Sometimes I'll restart the chapter. Sometimes I'll just start up where I was before. What the fuck is wrong with my throat? But anyway, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what happened. It is probably raining because that normally only happens when it's raining. Anyway, let's get started again. Hi, welcome back. Uh, so grab your Storykeeper's cup, grab a blanket, grab a stuffy if you have one, grab a pet, and snuggle up because it's story time of the same chapter, part 2. Anyway, I have to. Oh, I don't even have to find where I am. I'm right there. His eyes narrow. I'm the girl everyone's looking for. There's pauses, but as I've explained before, it is very strange and different to do pauses when you're reading. It's one thing to do pauses in like a video, and it's totally a different thing to do it in live. So, yeah, I need to talk to you. He doesn't react. This is completely unnerving. Shouldn't shouldn't he be just a tad bit freaked out? Everyone thinks I'm an unaliver. No doubt I'm the first in, in that category he's ever encountered. I didn't unalive Catherine. I feel like I'm wound tight close to snapping and unwinding into a frayed mess. Sophia, what are you doing, girl? Yeah, same. Huh? I've genuinely never heard of that. Please explain. I'm confused. Um, anyway. I know you have no reason to believe me, but it's true. He blinks and takes a step backward. Don't go, I beg. Please, I just want to talk. I swear, I just want to ask you some questions. But he's backing up, turning as if he's about to sprint away. Only that heavy book-filled bag on his back shifts from one side to the other. And the next thing I know, Griffin Selman trips on his own feet. The first one stopped, yes. It glitched, so this is the second one. Anyway. God damn it, it's a long chapter. It's okay. We can try. Where was I? Oh, and topples over, and lands hard on his side in the street. A long, slow groan slips out through his lips, and he lies on the asphalt as if stunned. Oh my God! I kneel beside him. Are you okay? I don't know. His voice is higher than you'd expect. Sorry, I just got a notification. and he seems really out of it. Come on. I help him slide his arms off the pack. You can't just lie here in the middle of the street. I get him to his feet and walk him to the curb. Then I go back and get his backpack. A moment later, we're sitting side by side on the curb, and I'm brushing the sand and dirt off his blazer. One of his pant knees is torn, and the grape skin under it. Ugh, I hate that word. The. Mm, it's just a word. A little thing about me, if I absolutely despise a word that makes my skin crawl, it is so hard for me to physically say it, so bear with me for a second. His skin under it oozes dozens of little beads of blood. Oh god, I despise that word. I pull the napkin from my jeans and dab the red away. Does it hurt? Yes. See if you can straighten it. He does what I tell him. His leg goes straight and then he bends it back without complaining or grimacing. Listen, Griffin. I can't sit out here in the open like this. Everyone can see us. I jerk my head back toward the hedge. Can we go back in here? Can we go back in there? I don't think they're home. He gives me a searching look. You're not planning on doing anything bad to me, are you? It seems like a strange question from a guy who's nearly a foot taller than me, but I've begun to receive a softness. I don't know how to properly say this. So I'm gonna replace it with fragileness, because I don't know how to properly say that. Uh, yeah, that word, it just feels weird to say because even if it doesn't affect you, because you know people don't like it. I never say it though. It's a very strange word. Anyway, where was I? Oh, a softness and fragileness in him. It's hard to imagine how he could have ever been mixed up with the likes of Dakota and Catherine. No, I was just hoping to find out some things. He tilts his head curiously. I get up quickly, but he takes longer, groaning and rising slowly and stiffly. We each take a strap off the backpack and lug it behind the hedge. Griffin sits down on it and dabs his knee with the napkin. I sit cross-legged on the grass and look up at him. Again, I have that feeling that I've seen him someplace before. I just can't figure out where. Last spring, something happened between Catherine and Dakota, and I heard you were involved. I tell him. Big frown. Look, no offense, but you're wanted by the police. This is a mistake. I shouldn't be talking to you. He presses his hand against the backpack as if to rise. Desperate, I grab the sleeve of his blazer. Have you ever been blamed for something you didn't do? I ask, holding on. Try magnifying that feeling about 100 times, and then add a life sentence to it. He stares at me. I swear I'll never tell anyone we met. I say. He thinks it over. I let go of his sleeve. So you want to know what happened with me, Dakota, and Catherine? All the ands in some of these throw me off. He says. I met Dakota at a coddling? I don't know how to say this, so I'm just gonna go with what I assume. I met Dakota at a coddling. That's how it's spelled, so I'm assuming that's how you say it. It is a weird word. Like, I'm not the type who has a steady stream of girls trying to knock down at the door, you know. But she was just really, like, insistent. So we started to hang out, and then somewhere along the way, she introduced me to Catherine. Griffin pauses. It still goes. Not either. See, what worries me about this being a much longer chapter than normal is that I'm worried the live's gonna glitch out again, and then I'm gonna have to do a part 3, which I can do. I just... Anyway. She introduced me to Catherine. Griffin pauses and winces slightly. And I mean Catherine. He shakes his head and seems to shiver. She told me all kinds of things about Dakota that sounded really bad. Like what? Like she said she was a total... I can't say that on here. I'm gonna replace it with a letter. She said she was a total S and had even been treated for... I don't want to risk that either. So... How do I replace this? We're just gonna go with TD. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. And if I went out with her, I might catch something. He pauses to bend his knee and winces again. So what happened next? What the fuck just happened? Sorry, it looked like my screen flashed like it was lagging again. Yeah, it's fine to say it. It's just annoying. It's annoying. It's an annoying word. You guys are like furnaces. Oh my god. So what happened next? Asked, trying to keep him on track. Oh, my screen just did that thing again. My eyes are like defocusing, so all I'm saying is the white of my wall. I'm sorry. Trying to keep him on track. Then Catherine made this big play for me, and like I said, I'm not exactly used to that kind of attention, and she swore she'd never tell Dakota, and he shrugs. I fell for it, and the next thing I knew, Dakota knew all about it, and she went totally bonkers. That's not a word you hear every day. So you think Catherine told Dakota? Or she told someone else who told Dakota? Doesn't really matter. Is that a trace of remorse in his voice? He can't enjoy admitting that he'd been duped. Still, it's incredibly helpful news because if Catherine stole him, it gives Dakota a motive for wanting revenge. And I'm wondering about something else. I guess the thing I don't understand is how Catherine could do that to Dakota. And then 2 weeks later, they were acting like best friends again. That's what happened? You didn't know? He shakes his head. I haven't talked to either of them. To tell you the truth, I'm totally fine with that. I mean, at first, I felt pretty bad about Dakota. It was probably stupid of me to believe all that stuff about her being an S and having diseases and all, but his voice trails off. But he seems reluctant to say more. Please, if there's something I should know, I say, urging him. Something that would help prove that I didn't unalive Catherine. Well, I don't know what this will prove. But when the whole thing happened, when Dakota found out about me and Catherine, I started getting really freaky texts. The callback number was blocked, so I could never completely be sure who they were from. Oh my god, sorry. But I but I'm almost positive they were from Dakota. What did they say? Really bizarre, threatening stuff. But the thing is, like I just said, I can't swear they came from her. I mean, it makes sense that she's the one who sent them, and it wasn't like anyone else had a reason to send me things like that, but the police said the police. How did the police know? Griffin looked surprised. We told them. I mean, the texts were totally threatening. As soon as I got them, I told my parents, and they went to the police, and the cops said there was nothing they could do. Oh my god, I am so sorry. They couldn't track the texts, and that was that. That's all they said. Well, they said I shouldn't tell anyone or spread any rumors because there is no way to prove who really sent them. And you know, like Dakota's mother is a congresswoman and people might get the wrong idea. Would you tell me what they said? He grimaces as if reluctant to disobey the police orders. I gave him a pleading look, trying to remind him of what's at stake. He nods. Whoever sent the texts said they wanted to off me. Sorry, someone just texted me. One even threatened to off me and Catherine. The news goes through me like an electric current. Maybe there's no way to prove the text came from Dakota, but like Griffin said, who else would who else would have sent those texts? I don't understand why the police didn't do more to follow up on them. I tell him. Griffin raises his eyebrows as if and gives me a look as if the answer is obvious. Then it hits me. Dakota's uncle, Samuel Jenkins, is the chief of police. She's his niece. Of course he wouldn't want rumors spread about her. Do you still have them? I ask. The text messages? Griffin shakes his head. I mean, the police probably have the copies. Sorry, the copies I printed out. But I erased them from my phone. That's disappointing. But still, I'm pretty sure that if his parents went to the police, there's a record of a complaint, and the copies Griffin gave them of the threats. Oh my god. Sorry. It all has to be there somewhere. Griffin turns his head toward his house and straightens his leg again. I better go. Okay, I get it. Griffin rises stiffly. I help him get the straps over his shoulders. The moment we practice, for a moment, we're practically face to face again. I feel certain his is familiar. Have we ever seen each other before? I ask. He shakes his head and then walks off. But it's still bothering me. Another time skip, by the way. As much as Miss Lemont wanted Slade to work in his drywall, or Mr. Lemont, business after high school, some kind of military service came first. It was a family tradition, a duty going back to the First World War. After the initial 2 months of National Guard training, when we were allowed to call each other, Slade and I would video chat a few times a week. He always tried to smile and be brave, but he wasn't a good enough actor to get away with it. Sorry. His sadness, homesickness, and fear of being sent overseas always came through. There was one expectation one night in the summer when he really when he really did seem excited. It began with his waking up with me on a phone call around 1 in the morning. "Get on the computer," he said when I answered. "Why, is something wrong? Are you okay?" "Just do it, I have to talk to you." Still half asleep, I staggered to my computer and slumped into the chair. A few moments later, Slade came on. "You look wide awake," he said with a smirk. "You woke me up." I tried to sound annoyed, but I was happy to see and speak to him again. Even if it was on a jumpy internet connection. "I know what I want to do," he announced excitedly. "I'm going to be a commercial fisherman." "Are you high?" "No, I'm serious. I mean, I know I have to work with my dad when I get back, but someday, that's what I'm going to be." Since Slade and his dad loved to fish, it wasn't a totally off the wall idea, but it came pretty close. "Where did you come up with this?" I asked. He told me about a guy named Rick. Does anyone else Are there any Walking Dead fans in the chat right now? And if there are, does anyone else have a thing where every time you read the name Rick or hear the name Rick, Rick's famous line just flashes through your head? Is that just a me thing? Was in another National Guard unit, and his family ran a fishing. I don't know how to say that, so I'm gonna say boat. Out on. What the fuck? Montauk Point. I hope I said that right. On Long Island. Sorry, someone just texted me. Okay. It was amazing, Cal. He talked about what he and his family have been doing for generations and showed me some pictures, and it was like, hey, that's it. This is what I've been waiting for. It's what I've always wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, after all this time of feeling like there was something else out there, but I didn't know what it was. Well, now I know. I thought of asking exactly how he intended to be a commercial fisherman in Soundview, or what would happen, or what would become of the drywall business, but it was such a joy to hear him sound excited that I couldn't rain on his parade. So I said, "That's great, Slade, and it sounds like you found a friend too." I had no way of knowing that was the wrong thing to say. On the computer screen, the smile left Slade's face, and his voice immediately became subdued. "Well, yeah, except Ricky's unit's been called up. They're being sent overseas to do support work for the troops. He leaves next month." He was quiet for a moment, and I wanted to kick myself until I thought of something that really scared me. "Slade, do you think they may call your unit up too?" "Right now, I'd say the chances are about 60-40, he answered glumly. I felt my body clench. "If you go, how long?" "At least a year. But a lot of guys are being stop lost and wind up doing 2 tours." I don't know if that was the correct terminology, so. Ghosts. I haven't talked about the ghosts today. Or in the stream. Although there is a child spirit that's in this house. Anyway. Where was I? That would be 2 years. I couldn't imagine him being away for so long. I'd be almost 20 by the time he came home. It felt like an impossibility, an impossibly long time. And what if he was injured or